here. Brand new locker room for these players, for the coaches. Indoor cages, indoor lockers. Looks great in here. And we'll start off by saying, how was the idea presented? Who came up with the idea? Who ran with it? And how did it all come together?
Well, it all started out. This is actually a storage shed, and we came in here one day, and I was like, maybe we could throw some lockers in here, just throw a fan, and just kind of, give the guys somewhere to come get dressed. Because if I don't know if y'all know, in the past, baseball players over here have been getting dressed in the locker room. I mean, the dugout every single game before practice and everything like that. And I brought it up to the parents. Leighton Lageson's dad actually does construction work and stuff like that. So, and then they just ran with it. Our parents, the Hidalgo family and the Lageson family really ran with it big time. They started off, Miss Crystal started off a Super Bowl pool, and we sold them. And then next thing you know, they said, no, we're not going to just do lockers. We're going to do walls, air conditioner, everything for y'all. And that was freaking awesome. So we ended up doing all this, and then we kind of expanded it over time, putting in couches, decals all over the walls, kind of bringing everything back. And actually the cage, we cut it in half. This whole thing was, so we just had an empty side on the other side of this. And then my idea was like, maybe we need to do something on the other side, since it's just another empty shed. So we decided we're going to see if we can do an indoor cage. So I went to the alumni committee, which is, they help us with a lot of things too. And just like our parents, they ran with it too. They were like, tell us how much money it costs and just let us know what we need to get. And they ran with it too. And now we have an indoor cage for our guys to go hit in anytime it's raining, like a day like today.
For sure, on this gloomy afternoon. Yeah. So look around here. There's a lot of things on the walls. There's a lot of things inside of the lockers. We got 3 couches here. Is there anything else that is going to be added in here in the future that our audience hasn't seen in the video?
Yeah, we're actually going to add right here, we're going to put our academic all-states. If anybody doesn't know, I think we've had a 6-year span where we had at least one person on academic all-state, which is awesome. I mean, they're student athletes to start off, and I mean, that's what our goal is every single year. We set 5 goals every single year. The first one is always a 3.0 GPA as a team, because we want to, most of the guys won't play college baseball. I mean, that's the proven fact of it. So we want them to be better men whenever they leave here. Yeah. And one of the best things is grades. I mean, because that helps you get a better career, better jobs, and all that good stuff. So we're going to add in academic all-state. On the other side, in the cage, we're actually adding in a TV that's going to be mounted to the wall to where, with a phone hookup, to where as soon as the guys, they can film it on their phone, their swings, and after that they could put it on the big screen and critique each other, and the coaches can critique them as well. And we could also do our catching drills, infield drills, and all that inside the indoor cage and critique them on the TV and stuff like that. We're also putting a TV right here. Right now we have a projection system. We have a projector up there, and it shows on the wall, but the only bad thing is we have to turn out the lights every single time we use it. So say a guy comes in a little late because he's not a 7th-hour player, and we're going over scouting reports and all the lights are off. He can't see what he's doing in his locker. He can't get dressed. So he has to wait until we're done. Then he has to get dressed. So it just makes it to where it's less time on the field. And we want to have as much time, be productive as possible, get in, get out. So we're going to put a TV right here to where it can wire to my desk. I have all our scouting reports on my laptop. We go paperless. We just show them the scouting report, tell them exactly like what pitcher we're facing, around what he throws, their best hitters, stuff like that, normal stuff. And then we also post it in a dugout before games, and they could see it during the game. But we're trying to make what we have already is beautiful and nice, but we're trying to evolve it as much as we possibly can, give the guys every tool they could possibly need to be a baseball player.
Yeah, for sure. So I look around on the wall here, and I see a 1-0 and I see a C. Can you elaborate what those 2 things mean to the Barre baseball program?
Yeah, 1-0 is just like our standard. We want to be 1-0 at everything. We want to be 1-0 at every game, every rep, every single thing we do. We want to be 1-0 in the classroom. That means if we have a test, we want to pass it. We want to do everything we can. C is about 2 years ago, we got together with the guys, and we kind of said, what do we want? We want 3 words to describe our core values of our program. So the S on C stands for selflessness. So we want to be selfless in everything we do. We want to be team players. Whenever I ask a guy in the 4 hole to lay down a bunt to move a guy over, that's what we're going to do. The first E is for excellence. We want to be excellent in every single thing we do around here. And the last one is energy. If you see me coach or know me at all, I want guys flying around. I want them running on and off the field. I want us to have as much energy in the dugout. We want to be loud as ever. We want to be the aggravating team in the dugout. We want to be live and going crazy because usually whenever we win in games, we're doing that.
For sure. So I'm going to touch on, like you said, energy, and there's times to find motivation, and sometimes it's harder to find motivation, but I've found some motivation in the locker room here on the door before you go into the batting cages. There's a picture, looks like a Eunice Bobcat baseball team. Yeah. Is that a main motivation you want them to look at before they go get some swings in?
Yeah, before we went into that game, well, that was the first playoff game we went to as me being a head coach that I felt like we can win this game. We were very prepared. We were on the bus ride there. We were very focused. Nobody was talking. It was awesome. And we came up short. They had a walk-off single to beat us. I thought we outplayed them. Eunice, as the head coach, even said that we outplayed them. You know, it was a hard-fought game. It always is with Eunice. But we want the guys to remember how that felt, because most of the guys that are still on this team played in that game.
Yeah.
So I want them to know that you think you worked hard today, but did you work hard enough to get over that game? You know, we always want to have motivation in everything we do. Like we have pick me up over the door over there. That's another huge saying that we came up with this past year. I like telling stories after every practice. I tell stories before every game about like past, whenever I played LSU. You know, I'm a big LSU fan. And one of the biggest stories I always tell them is the one about Warren Morris, the walk-off home run. Before he got up to bat, their best hitter struck out on a bend curveball. And as he's walking back to the dugout, he yells at Morris, "Hey man, pick me up." Morris didn't hit a home run all year. Morris was like hurt the whole year. He was just bunting, and he rips a home run. Yeah. So ever since we told that story, and for me and Catholic, same situation. I think it was maybe Jagger struck out, and he yells at Gabe, "Hey man, pick me up." Gabe blasts a 2-run home run, and we end up beating Vermillion Catholic. So that kind of gave the guys, so like now every time they strike out, they ground out, we don't feel sorry for ourselves. They walk back to the dugout, they yell to the guy that's about to go up, "Hey man, pick me up." And if a guy makes an error, he yells at the pitcher, "Hey man, pick me up." It's just kind of our little slogan that we kind of go off of.
So talk about how the 2019 season, 20 season, how you had some seniors whose season got cut short to COVID-19. And here's my question for you. Going into this next baseball season, everything's up in the air, but how is this senior class that's coming in, how are they approaching the season knowing that very well they don't know if they're going to be playing their last game or not?
I think they're more worried about playing. You know, they text me all the time asking me when are we going to start. They're eager to start. I mean, they all are, because I mean they had what they've been training for their entire lives taken away from them for a year, and we thought we had a great team. We started off hot. We started off 5-0, and it was just, I think they're more eager to get back, start working, and eager to play for those guys that didn't get their season back. And we have a great senior class. A lot of them have grown up a lot since they were freshmen. Some of them were hard to deal with when they were younger, I'll say that. But now they're very mature. Our junior class was like the more vocal leaders. Like some of our seniors this past year, they were leaders, don't get me wrong, but they were not the guys to like get on your butt. They were kind of lead by example kind of guys. Our juniors, the seniors now, are more vocal, which is a good thing. And you can lead either way. Like, I love guys that lead either way. But I think they're excited to get back. We've been having like voluntary workouts kind of come and just get back in shape. We can't really do anything right now with the regulations from the LHSAA, so we kind of restricted right now. But they're all eager to get back here, start working, start hanging out with the guys, because, I mean, this is a part of their life. People don't realize how much baseball players are around each other during a given year. I mean, it's probably 6 hours a day that you're either with the guys playing baseball, traveling, doing all that stuff. So I think they're more eager to get back to being with their friends, playing baseball, and just having fun.
Yeah. So talking about everything getting put on hold, So it's put a dent on fundraising for your
Yeah.
team. So is there anything where that's coming down the road where our listeners can know about, or what's going on right now? What is Port Barre baseball team doing
Yeah,
fundraiser wise?
right now we're selling face mask. It has the PB logo and it has Red Devils across the side right here. You can go on our Facebook page and you can get information about it. Let's see what it looks like. All our players and parents is selling them, even coaches. It's one of the ways we were trying to sell stuff. And then normally we do Super Bowl pool, so we do sell squares, Super Bowl squares, and we also do a college game every year. We usually do LSU Alabama because around here that's a huge game. I'm actually in the middle of that rivalry because my girlfriend's from Alabama and went to Alabama, so we usually pick that game. And then also they do T-shirt sales and stuff like that right before the season. So they do. It's not just Port Barre baseball. It's just PBHS, and you can also do like football and stuff like that. That's our parents been doing for the last couple of years, and that's mostly all our fundraisers that we do for during right now and towards whenever the year starts coming down the road.
Okay. So going into this coming season, can you elaborate on what do you think your strengths and weaknesses are?
Our strengths are going to be in defensively, like actually fielding the ball, and we have a lot of veterans. We have a shortstop, Jagger, who's been playing for 4 years. He's going to be a 4-year starter at shortstop. We're going to have 2 third basemen, Gabe and Landon Reed, who are both coming back. They kind of interchangeable because they both pitch. We're also bringing back Blade Olivier in left field and Alec Martinez in center. We're also bringing back our catcher, who was a freshman this past year, Owen Ponche. And on the mound, we're going to be young. We're going to be starting mostly juniors and under. They have a lot of guys that we're not going to throw the ball. We're not going to blow it by you. We're going to throw strikes, play defense. That's going to be the strength of our team. We also have a lot of guys that are good contact hitters. We're not going to hit the ball out of the park. Gabe might be able to get a hold to one or a poncho. But the other guys are just going to be, we're going to bunt the ball a lot. We're going to run. We have a good bit of speed on the team. But we're going to change the way we play baseball. We're going to play the way we always played, but it's kind of more a faster game. We started evolving into that. We started doing it more this past year. We call it creating chaos on the base pass. We want to run around. We want to make you throw away the ball. Yeah. So I think that's going to be our strength, is running around, forcing people to make errors, and we're also going to try to make every single play we can make.
All right, how you doing? My name is Rusty Aymond. I'm here with Tyler Stevens. I got a few questions for him. I was lucky enough to be able to be part of their senior night that they had. It was very limited due to the COVID going on. The season got canceled, but they still did a little something for the seniors. It was a very emotional day that day, and you have a group of great kids out there, and one of the things you spoke of while you were giving your speech to the kids was how proud of them you were as baseball players. But you also touched on that what you're looking forward to is years down the road to come back and see what kind of husbands, fathers, people they have become. That really, I find, is very important for a coach to say, because it's important on what you're doing. You're teaching a sport, but you're also teaching kids to be leaders. What process brought you to that, and what's your thinking about that?
Well, I've always said, I tell his parents this every single year. Most of the kids in this locker room are not going to play college baseball. I wish every single one of them could. I wish we were a feeder program for LSU and everybody else, but it's just the nature of the game. Mm-hmm. You have to be really good to play here, to play on the next level. So my whole thinking was, yeah, we want to win baseball games. Yeah, we want to be good. We were talking earlier about the things that we're trying to do to make them better baseball players, the different things we're adding in. But my whole mindset is, why not make these guys better people, make them better husbands, better dads in the future, and just better people, because in the end, that's what's going to get them through life. Baseball is not going to be around forever. I'm lucky enough to be able to coach and stay around baseball, but not all these guys are be able to. And plus, you hear other coaches that I idolize, the first thing they talk about is not baseball. It's about building young men, building a better program. And that's usually the more successful programs are the ones that's their core values. Plus, I get more gratification about, we're playing Pine Prairie this year, and I was sitting on third base, coaching third base, and I look down the line and I see 6 of our ex-players, that are coming back to come just watch the games and just hang out. And I get texts from them daily, like Cody Fondo and all them, and those guys, and just saying like just to talk. And they come back. Leighton came back the other day just to come sit in the locker room and hang out. And you build relationships with these guys because during the baseball season we're around them more than their parents. Because it's a grind. So I mean, you build relationships, you learn to almost be like a father figure to all these guys, and you get satisfaction when you hear that they got a job or they got into college or stuff like that. I mean, I'm a dad myself, so it makes it to where I have more sons than I already do, because I want to see them succeed, and I also want to build them and treat them like my son. So I want them to succeed, and the way I do it is before the season, we always talk about what makes you uncomfortable. What makes you... We have a sit-down talk for about an hour and talk about what makes you uncomfortable in life, what makes you uncomfortable on the baseball field, and I think it makes us better. And then I want to make it to where they want to come back here. I want to make it to where they want to text me, they want to invite me to their wedding, they want to tell me when they have their first kid. It's just something I feel like it would make our program better, is if we were more invested in how they are as human beings more than baseball players. Because I see baseball programs all the time that they're so worried about winning that I know guys that played in baseball programs like that, and they don't want to go back. They don't want to be a part of it, and that's not what I want. I want 50 guys at every game with their kids and bringing back to the park and donating back and doing all this stuff and making more of a family atmosphere around here.
About the season, it did get cut short. You had a lot of potential with this season, this team. I mean, you had a couple seniors, you still had a young core group, but you had a lot of potential if things went the right way. What do you? I mean, we don't know, but what do you feel that this could have? I think personally could have been a playoff team and somewhat deep in the playoffs. What's your feelings on that?
I think we'd have hosted a playoff game. I mean, I think that's what we were gearing up to do. We had a great group of seniors, like Leighton and Ethan actually played for 6 years, and Landon, Tommy for 4 years, and Luke was only 1 year. Luke decided to play his senior year. But, I mean, we had a great group. They all loved each other. They all hung out outside of the field, which was good. You don't normally see that. And we just played well together. And they all bought into what we were doing, because most of these guys, they were sophomores or freshmen when I took over. So, I mean, my dad Coach Stevens gave me like a great start up to start off as a baseball coach. He gave me everything I could need. But I coach different than him. I mean, it's just the way it is. I mean, he's more yelling. I yell too, but I don't yell nearly as much as him. I'm more of a kind of pull you to the side and talk to you. But they all kind of bought into the way I coach, the way we want to do things around here, which is a good thing. And then I think we didn't even hit our stride yet. We were 5-3, and I think we were actually not even playing our best baseball yet, which is not a bad thing at that time of the year. But I think throughout the year we'd have got even better, and there's no telling what we could have did in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, I started coming around taking pictures right about the time you started. Yeah. And this group of kids, one thing I've always admired about them is the dedication. They were dedicated to the sport. Whether, I mean, Luke, he just was this year, but he was dedicated to baseball once he started. Yeah, I mean, he's dedicated to any sport that he's in, baseball, basketball, football. But the other ones, watching them grow, I mean, that's just baseball was everything for them.
Yeah, we had most of the kids that played baseball that was seniors were baseball only. They didn't play any other sports, so they were always in the weight room during the off season, busting their butts, and then they were always asking, when's the first day that we can get to the field after football season's over with. So, I mean, you never had to worry about them caring about baseball, because sometimes you have to worry about that sometimes with certain kids. It might not be everything that's for them, which is not a bad thing. I mean, if baseball is not your entire life, that's not a bad thing. But these kids, you could tell baseball meant everything to them. And I wish I didn't have to tell them on a bus, that you played your last game the day before. I wish we were able to know that we were going to play our last game, which I think every kid deserves to do. Yeah.
Do you think their dedication that they had, their work ethic and stuff, has been passed down to the younger kids that watch them grow, And
yeah, I could see it, because the younger kids are actually chopping at the bit to come hit the cages and do everything more. And we're also, we're getting different types of kids now that are more. I hate that we have kids that are more baseball centric. I mean, I wish we had kids that played 5 or 6 sports, but it's nice that even though they're only geared on one sport, they're not getting tired of it. They're busting their butts. They're always asking to come do extra work. And we have a great group coming up. We also have a great group coming back. So, I mean, we're kind of having the guys that work together and work good, but then we also have kids that are coming in as freshmen that can slide in and understand that we want this. And we're always joke and say we're a yes sir, no sir program because we want respect from the coaches. And we want a freshman to respect the senior, and we want a senior to respect the freshman.
And you're lucky in a sense now that you have a good 7th and 8th grade program.
Yeah.
That's something that has been missing a lot in the past. Yeah. Now you have a pretty decent 7th and 8th grade program. Do you see a lot of changes with those kids coming up into it, knowing a little more about the sport?
Yeah. Whenever I took over, the first thing I wanted to do was I seen it like for me and Catholic and other schools. North Vermilion and a few other schools, they had OC, they had junior high programs, and you can tell they ran their programs like the high school program ran. So when they got there, it wasn't a big culture shock like it is at some. So it makes it to where those kids play together more because we might have kids that play on tournament teams, but they might play all over the place. So we might have a 7th grade class that has 5 or 6 baseball players, but all 5 of them might not play on the same team. So now we have them playing with each other at least 2 years before they get to us, which is great. So like they understand each other. They if they get aggravated with each other, they know what to do, what they can't do to each other. So it makes it a lot easier on me. Plus we have 2 great junior high coaches that make it easier. They're staying with the grade to where we have the same guys. It's not the turnover. It's 2 guys that don't have kids playing, and with Brennan and Logan, and it makes it to where whenever you get to the junior high, okay, this is my coach this year, this is my coach the next year. So it makes it a lot easier on me.
Let's talk a little bit about the baseball field, the improvements that have been doing. You've been keeping it up great with the grass and stuff like that, but you also got that nice big fence out there.
Yeah, that helps us out a lot.
Tell us about that and how that came about.
Well, whenever we've been trying to get a wall since my dad was the head coach for baseball. It's just something we've been trying to push for a long time, and our fence was actually falling down 2 years ago. So we went to the alumni committee and kind of talked to them about maybe possibly helping out with paying for it, and they were all for it. They were excited to do it. They support us in pretty much everything we ask for. I mean, we can't ask them for the world. Obviously, it costs a lot of money, but we went to them and we started the project. It was about a year and a half, 2 years, like planning and doing stuff like that, making sure we had the right time frame, the money, and all that stuff. And they came through big time. We needed that. It dresses up our field so much. We were actually able to bring the fences in too because we had the biggest park in the country. We had a pitcher's park, no doubt. I mean, we still are a pitcher's park, I think, just the way the wind blows and everything like that. But it dresses it up. It makes it look nice. Now we're starting to get to where the other programs are around here that have beautiful facilities. We're starting to get to that place too.
Next is lights.
I hope so. I was kind of looking, see the price and everything, trying to talk to people I know in high places, kind of like that can get stuff donated and everything like that. I mean, lights are a big deal. What I want to do next is the next project I'm pushing is covering our cages outside, right by our dugout. That would help us out a huge, to where we can have more than just that one cage covered, to where, and plus we can do more things. So that's our next project I'm trying to push and trying to get that done.
Well, Tyler, I thank you for your time, and I appreciate you showing us around the locker room. I appreciate you showing us around the batting cage, and I appreciate you letting us come talk some Barre baseball with you. Once again, thanks everyone for watching this video. My name is Jordan Taylor, Rusty Aymond, head baseball coach Tyler Stevens. Thank you.